Hello, Gemini, and welcome to your December forecast. I'm Nicholas Ashbaugh. The little fuzzy guy behind me is Apollo, and I'm here today to help you navigate through all of the twists and turns, the opportunities, and the challenges in the month ahead. So again, this is for December. You can use the reading for Sun, Rising, Moon, or Venus. I begin everything with channeled messages. Let's get started. There's a lot to talk about. In dreams, I was shown, it was almost like, it reminded me of the A Christmas Carol movie where there were like three different moments, past, present, future, that are culminating here and opening a door for you. When it comes to the past, I was actually given a little bit of a time marker, and it was something like from the teenage version of yourself that just needed to be released. It felt like it could be a fear, an anxiety, some unfinished business. Something from not quite the inner child, but the inner teen or tween in between. Sometimes like 13 and above, 13 to 18. It felt like it was that age range. So we'll look at deep past when I go through the Celtic Cross and review that. For many of you, this could just be a familial wound that now you're ready to make peace with. The other thing that I saw in the present, which is really going to help you, I think, is this energy of creation. And in particular, what flashed in my mind was like the Empress card, which represents a sense of empowerment, but also birthing, creating, nurturing, and bringing something forth. It's like one of the most, I would argue, powerful cards in the major arcana. She's the queen, she's the creator, she's the one that can manifest, right? And she comes after the high priestess. So she has all of that innate psychic ability, but also has this sense of strength and confidence, which can take it to the next level. And so I think that when you can resolve whatever it might be from the deep past, you can really step into the present grown-up version of you that's just ready to leap forward. And that was the last thing that I saw, was just rapid speed and movement. I feel like it's going to be a busy December, but I actually also see January being even busier. So once we can open you up to see what paths are in front of you, you can start to plan, you can start to hit the ground running. And Gemini, that's what this reading is all about. So we're going to take a quick peek into the past, resolve things, really get you into the feeling that you are in charge and in control, and then we'll try to identify the 2 or 3 opportunities that might be opening up in this month ahead. All right, everyone, close your eyes for a moment. Let's welcome in angels, spirit guides, and ascended masters. One of the ways to really connect with source energy is to imagine the rising sun and see a beam of light connecting to your heart space, wrapping your body in this cocoon of energy that's going to protect you and ground you. And in the presence of the guides, the angels, and the ascended masters, let's also welcome in your higher self as well, so that you can take what you need from this reading. All right? Open up your eyes and let's get started. All right, folks, let's begin. We're going to start off with the Catalyst card here. And in the Catalyst position, we have resistance coming through. This is really interesting. So, as some of you are starting to move forward in a project, a goal, or just anything that's in front of you, the resistance could come from 2 different areas. Some of it could be inner resistance, sometimes to take that first step, there's this feeling of, oh, how much work is it going to take? Can I do it? Etc. So you may be pushing yourself. There could be resistance around you to change, to new ideas. And this is a month of navigating and figuring out when it's worth to fight the fight and when you want to go down that path of least resistance. One thing that I've learned is there are moments where we want to basically push, but many times you want to follow the energy because the universe is using things like either rejection, resistance, or sometimes even a block to help you look around. So if it's too hard and you've done everything you can, it's not a moment to give up. It's a moment to recalibrate and to look around a little bit, okay? Let's take a look now quickly at everything in front of us, and I'll keep an eye as we go through relationships and the extended forecast. We'll revisit the resistance energy. But first things first, let's just see where the general spread is taking us. The first thing that I'm observing is we don't have like Devil, Ten of Swords, or Tower, so that's fantastic. I'm noticing a lot of resource energy reversed. So for many of you, this could be a month where you're deciding to work on personal development. You may also need to reach out and ask for more assistance. I think you can get it, but that could also be the resistance is asking for help, right? Overall, it looks pretty good. Let's take it card by card, and we're going to start with the center card, the King of Wands. So the card came through in the reverse state, but I want to hold it upright, and I wanted to uncover the lion in the background. I think that for many of you, this is a moment to really work on confidence and courage, because that's what that represents. And I feel like you're poised for an opportunity to step into the spotlight, to share your insight, just to believe in yourself a little bit more. And as your tarot reader and your sort of intuitive cheerleader, I'm here to tell you you can do it. I think this might be part of the karmic lesson from the past. There could have been someone that, while they were trying to look out for you, they may have overreached in their sort of teaching or parenting or mentorship. And now, if they're not in the picture, or if you're just in a different space in your life, there could be this sense of, can I do it? You can do it. That's what this card stands for. So if there's something that you need or want to do, go for it. This is a card of leadership, and it represents innovation, outward thinking, like I should just say like out of the box thinking, the ability to really create and empower and imagine. So allow yourself to step into that energy if you don't normally. This can be a stubborn card. So there may be an opportunity in your life to listen to external feedback. Someone may have an easier way. Someone may have really valuable insights, and there could just be this resistance, and you're like, but I want to do it. So take a step back, and you don't have to immediately agree or disagree with anything or make a decision on something that's really important. Try to sleep on it if you can, and really let it sit with you before going into the energy of reacting. And that's the first message. We had a lot coming through in that card. But it's interesting that when it's reversed, I'm covering up the lion, and I think this is a moment to really connect with the inner courage that really wants to come through in this moment. I got two quick messages as I looked at this card and this card. The Hermit is saying, know yourself and focus in this moment on inner discovery. And then when you know what it is that you want, go for it. Let it go. Don't hold on anymore. Let's talk about the Hermit for a second, and then we'll move on to Deep Past. So in the traditional Rider-Waite-Smith card, you would see a wise person holding a lantern, and within that lantern, clearly defined, is a star. And what's going on in this deck is we have the lantern here, and she realizes, I already have that light within. So it's the inner knowing. When you know what you want, what you stand for, who you want to connect with, it's this clarifying agent that it takes away fear and anxiety, because it's just there's no doubt, right? It's like this is what I came here for. Sometimes age and experience can give you that gift. Oftentimes you can read and get inspired or talk to someone. Whatever your path is to that inner discovery, this is the time to do it. In particular, December is a great month for learning, researching, meditating, receiving that sort of advice from a mentor, all of the above. That introspective work will take us then to the deep past, which is the inner child. I mentioned that I thought that this was not just like the little baby that we see here on the Sun card, but also kind of like more of what we're seeing here, a tween or teen or young adult that is coming through and saying, okay, I need to be able to be myself. I need to untether myself. You'll actually see a little bit of an umbilical cord here connecting her, and it almost looks like an egg, the sun here. So for many of us, we are finally liberating ourselves from what our parent, grandparent, teacher expected of us, and it's the inner knowing that the hermit is providing and saying, this is who I am. That may have been you, but this is me. When the inner knowing is there, then you can go for it. You can let it go, because whenever we have a sun card in reverse, it's basically representing something that's overdue. That little baby that we were looking at just a moment ago on the traditional sun card, riding on the horse, he's basically representing a birth, an announcement, something new, something that needs to be put into motion. So finding the courage to take action, to step into the spotlight, realizing that you are the spotlight in many levels and realizing who you are, and then just going for it. With or without the approval or support of parents, friends, etc. This is just you aligning to source and to your path. So there we go. And again, the sun does usually harken back to childhood. What we have here also is the connection with mother or father. And we can actually see that right here. This can be mom, this can be dad. And what we're starting to realize in this moment is you comprise all of it. You're the best elements of your mom and your dad, and you're the best elements of yourself. And you learn from all of the experiences. And now you can be full, whole, complete, and you can go forward without having to feel like you're trying to, again, make this person happy or that person happy. All right, let's take a look at the recent past here. This is also an aspect of you. So yes, we have mom and dad, but we also have creativity and abundance in these two cards. Queen of Cups. She's in charge of her emotions. She knows how to channel passion. She knows how to also channel frustration into something that is productive. So I do feel like many of you are starting to become more creative and not let emotions get the better of you. You're going to almost use them as fuel and inspiration. New love may have just come into your life. Some of you might be in a new friendship or a new partnership, maybe just got married. But that energy of being with someone who's in a high frequency can also be something that gives you a little bit of an extra push. By and large, Queen of Cups, recent past, very advantageous. Let's see how this brings us into the next card. The King of Pentacles in the crowning position is fortuitous. This represents money, accomplishment, house and home, stability within relationships, personal development, stability within self as well. This is a time to get really grounded in what it is you want to do and put in the work. Yes, it's the end of the year, but there's so much that can be accomplished if you put your time and energy into things this month. You're going to set yourself into a really good trajectory for January, and rather than having to catch up, you're going to be able to, just sort of like continue the momentum, or at least be 2 or 3 steps ahead of other people, and that's a good thing. This card is also connected to the place that you live. So if some of you may be getting a little bit more comfortable putting down some roots, it can be the relationship that you're in and you're deciding to bring a level of exclusivity or a little bit of nurturing into that relationship. And for yourself, it represents, again, developmental energy. So the Hermit plus the King of Pentacles can be deciding to almost like lose yourself in a project or education or something that really, really matters. And that focal energy, like putting all of it in one major thing, is why this is going to work for you. So the more focused you are, the better. I mentioned when we took a quick scan of this spread here that there is a need to identify where there may be an absence of something and ask. And so we have 2 cards here where you might actually be putting your hand out and saying, are you in this? Are you interested? Or can I get some of this? And so we're going to start with the Knight of Pentacles. In the upright position, you can see that you reap what you sow. He's worked hard and he's gotten to this point because of that. Sometimes, though, we give away a little bit extra, a little bit too much. What he's going to do is take a few steps back and revise and review the way he's working smarter, working more efficiently. And then if there's people that have consistently taken more than they've given, it could be a chance to go back and say, you can cash in on some of that good karma and good energy and say, can I count on you for this? Can you help me with this? If you're applying for a loan, the fact that the King of Pentacles is in that crowning position and this is here tells me you can probably get it, but you may have to sort of like prove, just some of your, like that you have certain assets or have your business plan ready, etc. So going back, reviewing, revising as necessary, and also making sure that you're happy on this path. Because if not, a Knight of Pentacles in reverse is saying, am I getting what I need out of the experience? It's more of a holistic and emotional question, which is, does this make me happy? If not, have I missed something? Is there something that on my bucket list of life that I want to do? If so, this is the month to set it into motion. It doesn't necessarily mean that it's going to be complete, but you're going to set it into motion and begin that journey into something bigger, better, brighter. This is an interesting card symbolizing you in this moment in time. The Three of Cups in reverse shows me that some of you are pulling back a little bit from social endeavors. You may also just be a little bit fatigued for those of you that might be dating or just have a lot of friends. It's sort of like quality over quantity is the key thing here. Less is more. That being said, I think it's still worth saying yes to a couple invitations. This Three of Cups can show that a new friend, a new colleague, a new opportunity, something exciting could come from one of these groups or gatherings. So if it is an office party or some sort of professional, gathering that's in your city, or friends and family that have invited you to something, it may behoove you to say yes to a few of these or a few more of these than you normally would. One thing that you want to probably push back on this month is anybody that is too exclusive, because this card in reverse is saying be more welcoming, be more inclusive, stay away from cliques, people that tend to think the same way and then push away anyone that doesn't. So go into places where you could mix, mingle, and expand your horizons and friend groups rather than the same old, same old. So that's another way to interpret that. And generally speaking, when it comes to core friendships and families, there could be an outsider that's trying to get in or come between you. So just pay attention to the people that have always had your back and let gossip not take a lot of time and energy in your mind. There's always going to be people saying things or thinking things. And really, it's kind of like a comment on a social media post. You can't give it too much attention. You have to keep focusing on knowing who you are. So for those of you that hear gossip or invited to gossip about someone, just don't. It's not going to bode well, especially with this card reversed. Generally speaking, though, there might be new love, new opportunity, new friendship coming through, but it involves networking, and I see a resistance to that networking, so that's something to think about. There's an opportunity knocking in the environment, Ace of Swords. Could be a contract waiting to be signed, good news, an email, a phone call, a text. Generally speaking, very good when the Ace of Swords is upright. If you have ideas, write them down, record them, whatever you need to do. We can see her lost in thought, almost like the math meme that I have here, where there's all this stuff going on. In this moment where you have all of these ideas, don't lose the momentum, don't lose that download. And I think what happens a lot of times too is perfectionist tendencies can, the word that wants to come through, it's either obliterate or obstruct, but they're both not ideal. It basically degrades what is otherwise a beautiful sort of like gemstone or kernel of an idea. Just put it down, and later you can kind of polish it and find like what you want to keep and what you don't. When you try to whittle it away in your head, you lose it. So whenever I'm doing an intuitive exercise, I just jot it all down. And what I learned when I started doing readings too is I would just say the strange stuff too. I was like, I don't know why this is coming through, but what does this mean to you? And that would be the most powerful thing. They're like, how did you know? I said, well, it just was bizarre and it came to me and I knew it was for you. So I didn't judge it. I allowed myself to be the clear channel. Be the clear channel. Write it down. Trust your instincts. If something feels good, go for it. Even though this isn't the magician or high priestess, it's intuitive. especially as illustrated here. And by the way, journaling is one of the most powerful ways that we can connect to our higher selves, our guides, and to clarify our own thoughts. Often when you see it in print or you say it out loud, it makes it real, and you're able to discern the real from the nonsense. Okay? Hopes, fears, and opportunities. So I'm getting there's a need to take a couple of steps back since we have a knight and a page here, but you're making a lot of progress too. So a couple steps forward, couple steps back. There's this back and forth energy in creation, and it may just net out as an even, in some areas this month. But moving forward, I see a lot of momentum and progress. So don't let that dishearten you if you feel like, why am I not making more progress than I need? You're resolving things and you're understanding things, and that's key. One of the cool things with this page is she's just going for it. She's throwing that wand into the air and saying, I've got nothing to lose. This is what I feel. This is what I believe. In the reverse position, this page of wands is overthinking. The visual image that comes to mind is basically like a game of pinball where you have those two levers on the side and they just kind of randomly push you in a direction. And what happens when our mind overthinks is it just kind of ricochets around and it doesn't end up going where it needs to. So I'm encouraging you not to overthink and to just release it. What she's doing here in the illustration is what you want to do. I believe in this. I want to give it a shot. Let's go for it. Let it go. Let's move on to the outcome here. We have Queen of Pentacles energy. She is showing for some of you a divine partnership because we have the king here. With that being said, I still think this is primarily about you though. And what she's doing in this moment is tuning in and asking for whatever it is that she needs. In an upright position, Queen of Pentacles is a nurturing card. She gives, she provides, she lifts up, and she creates. When it's reversed, this card represents the need to take care of oneself. She may be looking at a situation, a relationship, or a job, and she's thinking, I'm going to need more if I'm going to stick around or if we're going to do what we're saying what we're going to do. And so she'll come forth with a loving message saying, I'm on board, but I need this from you to make sure that we can make this happen. So she's going to hold people accountable, but in a way that is really loving and supporting and finding a common ground. So I actually feel like there's some diplomacy that needs to come into the delivery of the message. But once that happens, I'm telling you, she has a green thumb. She can get just about anything she wants. I love that her eyes are closed, and I love the expression on her face. She's not going to take no for an answer, especially because she understands what? Her worth. Know your worth. Know who you are. And this is the moment to really speak up and advocate for that. Okay? Let's go ahead now and take a deeper dive into the expanded forecast. In the expanded forecast, we're going to take a look at health, wealth, love, and destiny. We're going to begin with health, which is your mind, body, and spirit. Let's see what's going on here. I love this, the B spirit, prosperity. So whatever it is that you're trying to accomplish with respect to your health, you have a great chance of achieving it. By the way, we have to at least look at the bee and the pollen and address that. So for some of you, allergy season could be coming through. I'm in California. There's not a lot of flowers growing right now, but we have like windy seasons and there's been some wind lately. Just that can actually exacerbate allergies. It doesn't always have to be pollen. It can be dust, it can be animal dander, it can be air quality issues like with pollution. And so this could be a great time if you've never had an allergy test to go to an ENT and get that done. There may also be something that you just want to look at your house and make sure that it's as clean as possible. I try to keep dust to a minimum for that reason as well. But I love the prosperity message here. The other thing about bees is they're busy and they're organized, right? There's a clear division of labor and each bee knows their sort of swim lane. And when it comes to just getting organized in the house, this could also be a great chance to declutter, to clean out the closets, to give some things away if you need to. And again, to kind of focus on allergies. A lot of great health messages here, but I do feel like you're going to get on top of all of this, all right? Let's go ahead and see what else is coming through with the standard disclaimer that I am a tarot reader and a medium. I'm going to help you see where it might be affecting your body or your mind, but you're going to work with your health professional as needed. This is interesting when it comes to health. So when you're trying to build muscle, you use like resistance bands, and you can use your body to like push up and things like that. So for some of you, there's strength building, and it's knowing just how much resistance is healthy and how much is going to cause, like a pulled muscle or something like that. Work with the professional, obviously. That's one thing that whenever I work out, I always make sure that it's not on my own, because I'm not great with that kind of stuff. So know your limits, like me, and reach out for help if you need it. But this is strength training is what I'm seeing with that. So let's see what else might be coming through for some of you. Just getting settled in the house. I mean, it's so important. After having moved more than a few times, one thing that I was able to do here was within 3 months, I made sure that the core pieces of furniture were purchased, that I was settled, that I didn't feel like I was in a sense of disarray. I had no boxes, so it was easy. But like, if you have anything that's creating clutter, mental or energetic around you, it's time to clean, because that is going to eliminate one of the distractions. And by the way, stuck energy, which happens when there's clutter, it prevents things from coming into your life, new opportunities, new love, new relationships. When you have more open and free-moving space around you, opportunities start to come in as well. So this is a great time for cleaning and clearing, suffice it to say, and getting settled in whatever space you're living, working, or currently at. Let's put it that way. Other things that I see here. Moderation is key. 3 of Cups and 9 of Cups in particular, they're fun cards because they represent having a good time. Usually there's partying involved with the 3 of Cups. And I'm all for, connecting with gratitude and having a good time and hanging out with people you love, but everything in moderation, whether it's exercise or, going out to drink or watching TV or having some sugar, everything in moderation. That being said, this card lacks moderation too. The King and the Queen of Pentacles tend to treat themselves. This is drink usually, but it can also be any sort of vice in your life, smoking and other forms of, having fun. And this one would be usually eating too much. It can be too much fatty food, too much salty food, or too much sugar. It's overconsumption. So taking care of yourself and really knowing your boundaries and limits are essential. Solar plexus energy with the sun coming through. Some of it is emotional. Some of it might just be a focal point to put your attention to. So really building a strong core. And I think that's pretty much everything. It's fairly manageable and laid out here. So let's move on. Let's go to wealth. This is your resources, your life purpose, and your career. We have a really interesting card here with the gorilla. At the very bottom of the card, it says peace. So we're going to go with that energy of peace. And intelligence, I would say, too, with this. So in wealth, in this moment in time, I really want you to focus on feeling like you're at peace with the path that you're on. And if you're not, this is a chance to reevaluate, to recalibrate, and to also make peace with the fact that it's okay to move in a new direction. It should feel, this is your litmus test, whatever it is that you're going to focus on next, there should be a sense of ease and peace and this calmness. And the best relationships and jobs and opportunities in my life have always come with that peace of mind. It's like, this is easy. Of course I'm going to move forward on this. So if you don't have that clarity and that peace of mind, then it may be time to do a little bit more of the hermit soul searching to figure out what it is that you want. Because it should be an easier decision for that next step, okay? There could also be some, we're going to look at this as far as like bosses and other people. There could be some pushy people in your life, and you may just be at a point where you feel like, I don't have to fight. I know who I am. I know what's important. You're not going to spin your wheels. So I'm getting a little bit of that as well. We're going to look at this in 3 major categories, and there's a couple of subdivisions in the first and last. So the first one is going to be those who have a job, but also entrepreneurs. Then we're going to look at job seekers, and then students and retirees. Beginning first with those that have a traditional job. What I see for you, and this is very kind of like connected to what came through in the previous reading when I was doing Taurus, is there's almost too many people here and almost too many leaders. It was more kings there. We have kings and queens in this spread. But in existing companies, there's a lot of decision makers, and there may be more of those than people carrying out the work. There are a lot of talented people, which is always a good thing, but that can create challenges for you if you're trying to focus on advancement. And in this situation in particular, it's going to be important because sometimes the first person that speaks up may be the one that gets a role. So if there's something that you need, if there's something that you want, have the courage to speak up, have the data to back you up, and ask for it. You have the wisdom, you have the charisma, you have what it takes. So this is a time to lean on that. Now, just looking at it in a general sort of sense, for those of you that are like, Nicholas, I just want to know how I can make the most of this month. I'm not looking to climb the ladder. Fair enough. What you're doing well right now is the work product here. In the environment, you're working well with others. People listen when you have something to say, or they pay attention to what you're doing. Keep doing high caliber and high quality work. That's essential. I also feel like you have really innovative ideas. They could be a little bit ahead of the curve. So there is a need here to find common ground, and kind of trying to marry all of these thoughts together could be challenging. So I think the biggest challenge is who's the boss. Because when I look at this spread, there's so many different people that are coming through that I think that getting organized, it's almost like we go back to that B card. You could ask, you could just say, this is what I'd like to focus on. Is this what you need? Get the clarity in your sort of marching orders. And if your boss isn't giving you something that you need, you could say, it's really helpful when this happens. Could we do more of this? And also, this is an area where I want to grow. Can we focus a little more on this? Stepping up a bit and setting your own sort of stage for what it is that you want. That's going to show that you're a natural leader too. You have to see if your boss is interested in that, but that's kind of what I'm picking up on here is it doesn't hurt to ask, and I think it shows initiative. Generally speaking, you're good. The one thing you want to avoid is gossip. It will not go well. If you gossip about someone, it's going to get back to that person, and even if you're just sitting at a table and people are gossiping, get out. You don't want to be in the presence of that. This is the only thing that could kind of create some havoc. I also think there may be too many responsibilities, jobs, or things on your plate. And delegating, pushing back, and communicating limits are key. Even though we don't have like 7 of Pentacles or 7 of Wands here, I just feel like or 2 of Pentacles. I just feel like you're stretched in too many positions, too many directions at once. And speaking up is going to be important. You have a lot of the energy of the Magician here. I think one of the reasons you're successful is because we have just about every suit here, right? Fire, water, earth, we have a little bit of air here. So you basically have this ability to put your energy almost anywhere. The financial, business, or practical stuff is what's strongest this month. That followed by the creative stuff. So find a way to meld together the creative and the practical, and I think you'll be successful. All right, let's move on to entrepreneurs. It's a great month to be an entrepreneur. Lean a little bit more into this charisma. I mean, maybe you're almost like this unlikely social butterfly, so you can get into a room of people and there is this little bit of fear or anxiety, but once you start talking, it's natural. But I get the anxiety building up to and the relief that it's done afterwards. So continue to put yourself out of that comfort zone because it is paying off in the long run and you are making strides. That's one thing that I'm picking up on. I do think that there could be something a little bit off with the price point. Either something is costing more than you're charging, or customers are no longer interested in spending as much. So there needs to be some way to save on the production. Something has to give there. What I do like, though, is how many creative ideas are coming forth. I think the main thing here to focus on is to continue to innovate. So do what you need to adjust prices, but then focus on the next big thing that you're working on. That's what's going to keep you relevant in the marketplace. And we could do a little bit more work here around social media and marketing. I love Hermit energy because of wisdom, but I don't like it in the middle of a business spread because it's like best kept secret. We don't want a secret when you're doing something great. unless, of course, this is something that's going to launch in the future. But by and large, we want people to know you. We want it top of mind. So work a little bit more on marketing. Okay, job seekers. It's a good time to be job seeking. You could actually have, by the end of the month, a couple of offers in your trajectory. The challenge here, though, is competition. There are a lot of other people that have similar skill sets. I've been seeing this in the December readings. The first person could be the one that gets the sort of early bird gets the worm. For sure, that's what I'm seeing here. The thing that will set you apart is either your innovative thoughts or the words that you're using when you're putting together your online application. So really pay attention to vocabulary, grammar, and succinct communication. It is more important to effectively communicate than to use a big word that you don't understand. And we want to be as clear and concise as possible because people are reading a lot. Trim the resumes or the input fields when you're putting stuff in there. People don't often care about like GPAs the later you get in your career, or like what fraternity or extracurricular you're involved in if you're 10 or 12 years into your career. Finding a way to edit that down is going to be really key. But can you find something? Yes. I think that there's one solid offer that could come through. Here's a couple of tips for that, and then we'll move on to students. Where can you find it? One of them is from the past. So you might be going back to an old office, an old coworker or colleague, or something, a position reopened that you thought was closed. It's posted again. So look at your old sort of trail and make sure that something hasn't been missed, including your junk or spam folder, by the way. This is what that could mean. And then I also think that for some of you, it's about getting out there a little bit more. So I was talking about this for marketing for entrepreneurs. Same thing for job seekers. What are you doing to be seen? We really don't want the hermit card touching so many of these center cards, unless you're looking into like education or something. But otherwise, getting out and mixing and mingling can help you. We have 3 different people on this card, and we have this could represent you. So we have at least 3 people coming forth here. I think it's important to mix and mingle. Parties, professional organizations, sporting events, extracurricular activities. I would love for you to get as involved and plugged in as you can to those things. That's where you're going to meet someone. That's where things are going to start to get exciting for you. Okay? Students, what's going on with you? Overall, pretty good, actually. I like cards like Wisdom, which is what the Hermit represents. And we want to see cards that are grounded, like the King and Queen of Pentacles. One thing that is going on here is that there could be for you 2 really equally awesome sort of opportunities in front of you. And it's like, what do I do? What do I focus on? And just like if we had the 2 of Pentacles, it has to be something where you feel on a heart level, this resonates. And like I said here, the peace portion is what matters the most. Does this sit well with you? Is it an easy choice? There should be one of the 2 that's easier. If not, which one of them is going to require least resistance? That will help you. Either it's easy and it feels right and I want it, or of the 2, this one is so much harder and I feel so much more resistance. I'm going to go for that. I'm not asking you to like give up on something that you care about, but if you try and there's no movement, the timing is off. So move to the side, focus on this, come back a little bit later and see if it isn't easier. Resistance is trying to kind of push you into maybe a winding path, but one where there's going to be more abundance in the long run. Retirees, let's see what's going on for you. I feel like some of you want to go back and do something that you never had a chance to finish. It could also include, by the way, finishing a class. Maybe you want to go back and also do something with youth because the sun can represent children. So this could be teaching, this could be volunteer work. It looks pretty cool to me. I like that. The Hermit card is also a spiritual developmental card. So some of you are going a little bit deeper into your own path of intuitive development, connecting with your psychic self, and this is a great time to do that. One thing I'd like to be mindful of is you've got a busy calendar here. A lot of people, a lot of opportunities, a lot of things that are going on at once. And just like my dog that's tiptoeing around me, I want you to kind of like take time to tune into that so you don't miss out. And don't be afraid. There he is. You don't have to say yes to everything when you're retired, but I think it is important to get out there and mix and mingle. So a lot of what we were talking about here with the Three of Cups is even more important here for those that are retired, because new opportunities could be knocking. Let's go ahead now and take a deeper dive into the energy of love and relationships, see what's going on here. So this is a beautiful card here that represents Archangel Metatron. There's a lot of text on the back. I'm going to pull it to the main camera, and we're just going to take it a sentence at a time. I love this deck, but it's the one where I think it's just too many words. So first message, you have a divine calling. And isn't that nicely aligned with what I was talking about with the Hermit? So it's time to go introspective. It's interesting that this is coming through in relationships. When you know who you are, then you attract people that can help you get to the next level. So even if we're just looking at strategic friendships or alliances, that makes a lot of sense. Again, I'm going to do one sentence at a time here. God and the angels are recruiting you. Okay, so this is even kind of hearkening back to the previous one. Recruitment could actually help you. If you need help, find someone that can help you get what you're looking for. So in business, it could be a recruiter or a headhunter. The next piece says, where you are is where you have been strategically placed. Hanged man. So it's saying hang out for a second. Make sure that you've taken in everything that's coming through. There may be someone that you're supposed to meet here since we're looking at love. Let's look at the next one. Trust that what you are facing now has everything to do with what you are here to heal, and that it will lead to a life that is aligned to meaning and purpose. I mentioned there was something that needed to be healed from the past. We have the Sun card, which is not a child, but a young adult in this particular deck. So I do think it's something from that period of time. And when we look at the core connection on this card, it is like that umbilical cord. So I think it's defining who you are, separate from parental, teacher, or societal expectations. Let's go to the last sentence here. You are here to make a difference, and it must begin with where you are right now. Interesting. This is a call to action, very much like the Sun card in reverse. Now is the time to take action. The people around you could and should help you get to that next level. So particularly when we're not looking at the sort of romantic relationships, but the strategic ones, this is saying, look around. That's why you're supposed to pause. So the last card, or the last message here is just, are you ready? And you want to say, I am ready to fulfill the call of my soul. And you're recognizing that you have the divine calling. It's a lot to parse. That's like 7 cards, but it came through, and I chose to read with this for some reason for December, and I think it's because in this particular category, there's a lot going on, and partnerships can really help either lift up or push down. All right, we're going to focus now on 3 categories. Those in a relationship, looking for love, single and happy. If you're in a relationship, we have to go back to the resistance card. You may have a difficult time seeing eye to eye, listening to each other, or even working together. You may actually be okay, but people around you could be putting unnecessary pressure on you, and you need to resist that. It could be to start a family. It could be to put a ring on the finger of the person that you've been in a relationship with. Whatever it is, the resistance is there to teach you, like, why am I annoyed by this? Is it because the person that's pushing this on me, I need to push back and resist their sort of tendencies to project my truth, my path? Is it because I'm afraid? Because if something's too good, I'm resisting the energy just to surrender? Focus on the resistance and identify the core emotion and then resolve that. The big takeaway here is that resistance functions as a teacher, but it doesn't have to stick around much longer than you want it to. All right, let's just look at some main overarching energies for relationships. Some of you are either in a big family because we have 2 sets of kings and queens. So this could be grandparents and parents, like living in the same house. So you and your partner and maybe your partner's parents or an aunt or an uncle. So I definitely see extended families for some of you. In addition to that, there may be a couple of children. So we see a bigger family, and then that structure can become a little bit discombobulating. There's just a lot of action, and the hardest thing is getting some time to focus. So I think from a partnerships perspective here, making sure that one another, that you both have some personal time aside from the family, and that you also have some together time, and navigating the big familial maze, right? We're also entering into a month where there's a lot of family gatherings, and we see that here. And maybe it's one too many gatherings. So unlike work, when it comes to relationships here, I think it might be better to pull back just a little bit. And again, this could be overcommitment. Too many people, too many things. Other things that are coming into the picture here, if it's just two of you, maybe you're not married, what I also see is a lot of friends and family and a lot of work energy. So navigating all of that and making time for each other. This is a busy month. I mentioned rapid pace. Definitely this could be a call here to slow down and take a couple steps back. What I love about it, though, is that we actually have Queen of Cups energy here, and we have passion and it's not charisma so much as chemistry is the word I was looking for. So chemistry and passion are really important. Don't let work or other people get in the way of that. Make time to talk, make time to listen. That is the biggest thing that we can take from this card. She's got her mind open, her ears open, she's listening. So I think as long as you're ready and willing to do that in this moment, a lot can be accomplished, and it can be a healthy thing. All right. Aside from that, I think it's a pretty manageable month. All right, focusing now on those of you that are looking for love this month, what's coming through? Almost too many options. We have Queen of Cups, we have King of Wands, we have King of Pentacles, we have Knight of Pentacles, we have a Page of Wands here, we have Queen of Pentacles here. So when this happens, it's usually an encouragement to slow down for a second. And it's not about how many or how often you're dating, it's about, do I feel the connection? Does it feel real? And is this person also aligned? Like, what is their calling? What are they doing? Does it feel like it's something more than just a casual encounter? Because this is usually fatigue with that. So I do think that this can be a divine partnership. So there can be an earth sign that's ready to settle down. So the fact that we have two of the same could just mean that that's what you're looking for. The other thing that I see is perhaps an attachment of a child in the picture, and potentially an ex. So you might be dating someone that has this sort of built-in or ready-made family, or a really large family, and maybe you're from a smaller one. Navigating that and seeing if that's okay. For everyone else, I think it's really an encouragement to slow down here. Finish the business stuff, finish what you need to get finished here, and then focus on this first card that I kind of was drawn to talk about, which is know yourself. Because the relationships that we pull in are reflections of our inner knowing and our inner work. And then heal the relationships with family so that new relationships aren't kind of like this instructional ground where we're working out old karmic energy there, okay? Now let's take a look at those of you that are single and happy. First of all, good for you. I feel like the sky is the limit this month. So much work can be done. So much can be accomplished this month. Networking, learning, creative endeavors, introspective energy. If anything, like I said, it's almost like the elephant in the room, a hidden magician here. What's the focus? There's almost too much going on at once. And in this moment in time, it's really important for you to pick what you want to put your energy into, okay? All right, let's go ahead now and look at what's coming through in Destiny. We have the white owl, and this represents wisdom. It's connected with Athena, and it's telling you, you know what you need to do. You're looking, I think, mostly in this reading for confirmation. How did I get here, and why am I doing this? And you just sort of like want the validation. So I'm validating that your intuition, your instinct for the next big thing is exactly what you need to be focusing on. This card is also connected with doing your research. So another way that you can sort of find your calm and your cool, calm, collected self is just to sort of see how others have done it, talk it out with someone, look at a video like this, and then say, I did my homework. What am I afraid of? Let's take that next step. All right, let's go ahead and take a look at the sun, rising, and moon sign messages. and see what's coming forth. Sun, rising. Okay, moon is going to be 2 this month. It is what it is. All right, let's focus on the sun sign message. Well, lo and behold, we did get the 2 of Pentacles. I think this makes so much sense, and it makes me feel better because I said there are so many opportunities in front of you. And we can see it here. Let me just put these to the side. Like, it could be work opportunities, it could be relationship opportunities. Your mind could be going a mile a minute. This is asking you which one resonates most. We just got a card saying, trust your instincts on this. When I'm presented with an option, I usually know that feels better, that looks better. This is an easier path. We talked about resistance being one of the teachers and one of the litmus tests. If it's too hard, then focus on the one that's easier. That's a great way to make the decision. Now, there are practical and literal ways that we can read this. 2 of Pentacles can simply say, don't overextend yourself, especially when it comes to expenditures. So anything related to your budget, anything in your schedule, commitments across the board. There are so many people. There are so many options. Let's pull it back just a little bit. You could also be trying to get your balance, emotional balance, work-life balance, and there's too many things. So back to quality over quantity, discernment can help you get the balance, like in the 6 of Pentacles, okay? Once you make the choice, you find your zen and things start to go in a good direction. Let's move on now to rising sign messages. We have judgment in the upright position, rebirth, reinvention, the ability to come back from a setback stronger. What I love about this illustration is how free she looks and feels. It's almost like a ballerina dancer. She's embracing this too. I know that there have been moments in my life where I think to myself, I'm glad that chapter has closed. I have no desire to revisit that person, place, or thing. I'm done. And it's a really cool thing to know, like, enough is enough. This can also be like a divorce, right? A divorce, a separation, giving notice, being let go. For me, that last apartment I lived in, if I never see it again, it's too soon. So you're like, we're good. That chapter's closed. Now it's exciting because it's a time to imagine what's next, to heal, to rebound, to explore, and to rise again. Resilience is one of the best pieces of this card. So it's not an end, it's a beginning, and that's the message in rising. You receive 2 cards in the moon sign. The hidden opportunity here is friendship, partnership, someone coming through or something coming through. The challenge or opportunity that's presenting is openness to receive. Now, there are 2 ways to look at this. One is just getting into that energy of feeling like I'm ready, I'm willing, I'm worthy. Bring it on. The other one could be a sense of entitlement, like it should happen now and I want it to come to me. So that part is actually going to create more resistance. Be open to the partnership or the opportunity, however it might come. Sometimes you have to open the channel. Sometimes the channel comes to you. We see a cooperative, collaborative energy here. You could simply say next time, whatever it is that's coming through, whether it's love, friendship, opportunity, allow it to be clear and equal and reciprocated. Reciprocated means that you might both have to take a step in that direction. In order to dance, you both have to move. And that's what I'm getting with this, okay? Avoid entitlement, embrace openness, and dance that dance. That's going to bring you to the 2 of Cups, okay? Now you get one last chance to ask a question if there's something that you need some clarity on. So we're going to go to the final question right now. Whatever it is that you need some assistance with, go ahead and formulate that question, and I'm going to pull a card. You received the 4 of Wands reversed. 4 of Wands is still a very favorable card. As you can see with this illustration, it can represent a firm foundation in which partnership can come through. If we look at the traditional card for a second, you'll see that the stage is set and that the people are approaching. That means that right here, right now, you may not see what's coming just yet, but it is coming. So this is a close-up of almost like the aftermath, the celebration, the friendship, the firm foundation. This is a time for building and holding space. So yes, whatever you're seeking, it's just within reach, but it may not fully be here yet. So it's important to keep up the good work, keep up the same sort of diligence that you've been doing, and that will pay off in the long run, my friend. In the situation of or I should say, in the energy of a friendship, this can represent commitment. But again, we're kind of going back and forth with that idea that I want it to come to me, or I want the other person to say it first. Sometimes you have to open it up and let the person know that it's safe by saying what you feel, right? I'm committed. I'm ready. Let's do this. Are you ready? Open it up then with a question. So that's my advice on this today. Thank you, everybody, for showing up today. If you enjoyed this, let me know. It's easy. You can just hit the subscribe button. You can also leave a comment below, and of course, like it if you haven't already. And share this on social media. I'm on all major platforms at Nicholas Ashbaugh. You can go to my website if you need additional links to get there. And like I said, if you follow me, this is a great way to get informed whenever I do an impromptu or something special, as well as my daily, weekly, and monthly videos. Just a quick reminder, I don't give private readings. I don't use direct messages. So if you see anyone out there that's pretending to be me, stay safe, block and report, let me know about it. Thanks again, everyone, for taking some time today, for being the best part of what I do here on YouTube. I wouldn't be here without your love and support. I wish you all the best, and I hope to see you soon. Take a look at my weekly, monthly, and daily readings as well. All of them are available on my main channel page. Take care.